You don't approach a lazy man by shouting at him or telling him that he's lazy. Trust me, if you tell a man that he's lazy, you've not seen lazy.
Okay.
You've not seen lazy, I promise you.
Okay.
He will show you what it means
Laziness
to really be lazy. And even if he's not lazy, he will now tell you that I can actually be lazy. Let the heavens fall. Some cultures just believe that, okay, everything, in fact, the man signs off on all the checks. You know, that is really changing, you know, in the marriage of the now. And of course, it's still going to change so much more in the marriages of the future and all that, you know. But for right now, you have some men that, some men that don't want to hear that maybe their wife is picking up any bill. You have those kind of men. You still have some men that maybe they are not entirely self-sufficient in that way. And they believe that, okay, this union is not just for me alone. Like, I'm in this with my wife. So my wife, she should be able to also, she should be able to bring her own game on to the table and all that. But where the problem is where a man is docile. He's not concerned about what's going on. He's not thinking about, okay, are children going to be at school? Who's going to pay the fees? Are children going to have like good health care? Are they going to have vacations? Are they going to live in a good environment? You know, all those things. He's not thinking about those things because he has left that responsibility for the wife to be thinking about. So the issue of...
Or the wife's family.
Yeah, or the... that one is even the worst. If as a man you are living it for your wife, I can understand. But not the fact that your father-in-law is the one that is now paying your children's school fees.
Maybe he's a governor.
You know, it doesn't matter, sincerely.
But I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
What can make a man docile?
What can make a man docile?
Have you ever met a man that is docile? Have you ever seen or read about a man that is docile?
I've heard of men that are docile. I've heard of men, in fact, I've seen men, I know one or two men that practically are okay living off their wives.
Is it that they are sick? Like, is it a health challenge?
It's not really like they are sick. It's just like when you have a man that is not driven. He's not looking forward to anything. You know, there's nothing that really inspires in that sense. Maybe one of the best things that he might be looking out for, if he watches CNN, for example, he's fine. If he watches one of those football, he's okay. If he can drink pepper soup, you know, at night, he's okay. Like, all of those things, like, he's just okay. Like, he's not dreaming. There's no vision. In fact, let me even define who a lazy man is. It's not always all about having money. A man without a vision is a lazy man, because it takes another dimension of energy, of mental energy, to be able to start conceptualizing what a vision is, where you're actually taking your family towards, you know, what your life purpose is really about. If you're not having those thoughts as a man, I consider you a lazy man, not necessarily your inability maybe to meet your bills at home.
Okay, so you are not addressing people that are trying to, as in, doing everything that they can, but somehow they're not able to meet up.
Those are not lazy men, you know.
It's someone that is not even, as in, someone that doesn't even have a plan.
Some men actually don't have a plan, and what even makes that worse? It's even easier when, as a man, you don't have a plan. I'm not saying it's a good thing, and you have a woman who is like,
she has,
but the one that really baffles me is where the husband and wife, they are competing for laziness. You understand?
What's the best thing that a lazy man can do? If a man knows that, okay,
I'm lazy,
I don't want to work. What is the best thing that a man can do to help himself and help his family?
One of the things that lazy men do, because in fact when I was in my youth service, there was a particular guy that was like, man, if the baby's not having it, he can't date a lady of his own status.
Okay.
The guy is always thinking of, man, children of maybe top government functionaries, you know, all those kind of guys and all that. Then they just believe that they can make up for that laziness maybe by what happens in the bedroom and all of that. Oh, the woman is just so chilled. The bedroom is warm, like Hamatan cannot enter the bedroom. But
I don't know, like they're doing 7 rounds.
I think it's a lazy man that does 7 rounds. Any man that you hear that comes out and start bragging, I'm sorry to say, me, I've never done 7 rounds. I will not lie. But any man that come and say, man, I hit 7 rounds. What are you hitting? What's happening? What's happening with 7 rounds? Is orgasm something that you carry around and you're moving around? As in, can you bank on it? Can you take orgasm to the bank?
Can you cash it?
You can't cash orgasm now. Like, you cannot come and say, okay, they are looking for the top billionaires, and now orgasm is part of what's going on. That's not part of the. I'm not saying orgasm is good for your marriages, or guys. Trust me, it's excellent. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you cannot substitute hard work for sex. It doesn't really work out that way. And sometimes, how you even know that some men are actually hardworking, it affects their sex life one way or the other. Hard work can affect sex life. When you're always driven, you're thinking of work, money. You don't want to be lazy. You want to answer all the calls. You don't want it to ever be said that you dropped the call of your wife, or you dropped the call of your children.
If we are trying to reverse this thing that many men that are hardworking are not satisfying their wife sexually.
That's not what I've said. But what I can say is that some men who are really top-notch on the hard work agenda,
their wives are not satisfied.
I'm not saying their wives are not satisfied.
They are not able to satisfy.
But I'm saying that
they don't have the time.
But I'm saying that they may not be giving 100% in their sex life. Sincerely, they may not be giving. I cannot say of maybe the top Nigerian billionaires. You know, there was a particular billionaire in Nigeria that, you know, the story went that he traveled to a certain country with his wife. He left the wife there. He forgot. You know, that kind of a man that he's thinking of transforming Africa, transforming the continent, not even Nigeria, transforming the continent of Africa. You understand? The weight of the African continent is on one person's shoulder. So that's not the kind of man that maybe will be hosting bikini parties and is doing 7 rounds and all that. It's not possible.
Are you sure?
It's not possible.
You might not be doing 7 rounds with the wife. But does that mean he's not doing 7 rounds?
Me, I don't know that one. But the point I'm trying to make is
that... No, I'm not saying anything. No, please.
The point I'm actually trying to make is that every man must have a charter by which he lives. Do you understand?
But is there a way to know that a man is a lazy man before getting married?
There are a lot of ways now. One of the ways you can know, the man never talks about his vision. Okay. If in fact you're talking of vision, he'll be talking about African magic, or he's talking about football. You know, men who are so engrossed. He's not like he's playing football. It's a different thing. When you are a soccer guy, you are tapping football so that you can succeed. It's different from when you are just on your couch. You are watching. You know all the games.
Commentator.
And that's different, you know. But when you now use work time as football time, that means you have missed it. You understand? If you use work time for football time, you are on.
What will you say to women that are married to men that are lazy?
If your husband is lazy, there is no how. It will show one way or the other. And don't forget, when we are talking about a man's vision, a man's mission, all of those things, you know, I've heard pastors talk about the concept of submission, where they say submission means for a woman submitting yourself to the mission of a man.
Yeah, so do you submit?
If you now submit to the mission, in fact, a lazy man does not even have a mission in the first place. That means you're not really submitting to anything.
There are some men that are lazy, and after you've worked for the money, they don't tell you to bring it to the feet of the apostle.
They will share. That's how you know those kind of men. They are always waiting for the woman to bring income. You go out on a date, the man's card is always denied, or the man has issues, or he tells you stories about maybe how he's doing an investment that you've had, in fact, you know absolutely nothing about. But one thing I believe strongly is that when a woman sees a lazy man, she knows, because I've not even seen any woman, most of the women I've had interactions with, one of the first things, okay, he must be a godly man, even if most women don't even understand what it means for a man to be godly. Women always emphasize on hard working. So how would a woman bypass all these things and still go and hook up?
No, the thing is, I feel that there are some men.
Sometimes some women that are desperate to get married. It may not necessarily even be that maybe their time is ticking. They just have this idea that I must be married. So any man who comes along the way, you understand, they are willing to settle just to have that.
But some men pretend to, you know.
Can you pretend to be hardworking? Yes. Your wife calls you by 10 a.m. You are still at home. She calls you by 12. You are at home. She calls you by 2. You are at home. She calls you by 4. You now tell her, beg, babe, you don't cook. Have you made dinner or something? When you see the life pattern of a man, you would know. You can easily tell a man who is actually headed somewhere and a man who is not. At least you can predict, even if you are not 100% correct. Maybe 50%.
What if the man that you're with is heading in a direction that you know that it will never yield anything, and year in, year out, he's still stubborn to say that this is the path that he believes in.
The thing is that
will you call that laziness? Like,
no, that one is not lazy. That one is just a man who has his priorities misplaced, or a man who has his vision misplaced, or a man who is set in his ways, a man who is stubborn. You cannot tell me that you are driving on an express road, for example, and you now say, okay, this is my lane. Another car has overtaken another vehicle and is now on your lane, head-on collision. You now remain there. No. If you're on a path that is already destined to collide, the only important and useful thing that you can do is to shift ground. So when you now say, okay, I'm the man of this house, I'm doing this particular thing for the last 20 years, I'm owing a lot of people, I'm in debt, I cannot meet the things that I'm supposed to be able to meet as a man, and you still remain there. No, you are not lazy, you are just confused. That's a confused man. There's a difference between a man who is confused and a man who is lazy, or a man who is stubborn and a man who is lazy.
What about men that always quit their jobs?
People quit jobs for different reasons. I know that women instinctively, they know these things. Somehow there's something about a woman, when a woman is sure that, okay, XYZ is about to happen. I can see the next 5 steps of this man. Women have that patience to be able to look in a direction that they're able to know. Yeah, they can easily discern. So when a woman tallies up with a man who lacks vision and all of those things, trust me, the woman has had all those things. Did not just happen. She always knew there was just something somewhere, or that just told her that this, you are going to have issues. This X, Y, and Z might actually happen in the marriage and all that. So
but she overlooked it.
She overlooked those things. Women have reasons. What are the reasons why women even overlook some of these things?
Okay, I think one of the reasons why some women overlook things is when they are not listening to their hearts or their head, they're listening to their friends. So there are some guys that are lazy but are fine. People say, you look good together, you look good together.
They have beards,
so
the
some
bearded gang.
Some are thinking of their age, some are under family pressure to get married. Some feel that their time is ticking and they just want it, while some feel that they can handle the home. Yeah. So he should just come. Some feel that they can change. They can change the man.
That one is even that one of changing a man is, even a man cannot even change himself. Many men out there, we are trying to change ourselves. We have not succeeded in that. Then a woman will now come and say she has the magic wand to be able to change a man. That one is just a joke. It's a total joke.
If a man is lazy before marriage, he will be lazy.
You cannot change a lazy man. And the fact that a man is lazy on Monday doesn't mean he will be lazy on Friday. Something can happen. Anything can happen. Situations of life can happen that will just get that man off the ground and he's running. Yeah. If he has the right mentors around him, that's why instead of spending all your money buying shawarma and all those things, look for some audios that you can actually get. Play certain things that the man can be listening to on his own. You understand? You just play it. Those things are like deposits in his heart. You understand? A lazy man, you don't approach a lazy man by shouting at him or telling him that he's lazy. Trust me, if you tell a man that he's lazy, you've not seen lazy. Okay. You've not seen lazy, I promise you. Okay. He will show you what it means to really be lazy. And even if he's not lazy, he will now tell you that I can actually be lazy. Let the heavens fall.
So the best way to handle it is to use
other means to touch the heart of the man. Don't be like you are now trying to push a man toward. You cannot make a man that say I will not succeed. It's you that will not make him to succeed. You cannot do that. So you allow the man to go through his own season. You understand? Let him go through his own process. Then the much you can do to surround you surround yourself with mentors, because the laziness of any man is infectious to the woman. You understand? So you have to also protect yourself. You protect yourself, you guard yourself, ensuring that you are always keeping your own game tight. Then for the man, just be playing some motivational stuff. You can have maybe some pastors. I can recommend guys like Pastor Samuel, my pastor, for example. Yeah. When you wake up by 5 a.m., your husband is still snoring. Just be playing those things. So that it will be entering his mind. It will be entering his mind. Then once in a while, look for some programs where they show successful men. You understand? And be watching it to say, that man is successful. You understand? You have not told your husband he's not successful, but somehow those things can easily trigger a man back on his feet.
It's true.
Yeah.